global emissions, and you've seen them go from this to kind of like that, which is what we need for the climate. Plastic emission, they were like leakage, just going like this. Nothing we've done since the start of our attempts to address plastic pollution has even like made a little dent in that curve. People are using electric cars now. So all the oil and gas companies have piled into the plastics. I think the more terrifying stuff is this microplastics, which we're only starting to understand now. And they're finding it in human brains, in placentas, in all the fish, plants, in everything. And many of these plastics are made with really toxic chemicals, flame retardants, endocrine disruptors, all these things. And it kind of makes logical sense that if you have plastic inside you, which is got those chemicals inside you, that it's not good for you. You just unscrewing a Coke bottle. You can imagine tiny little pieces of plastic. Every time a little bit of plastic comes off and into your Coke or whatever it is. And microplastic pollution is almost impossible to address. Once it's broken down and in the environment, you're not getting it out. When they first started making plastic, it was a byproduct of the producing petrol and fuel and stuff, or oil. So they, then started to try and put it into all these different applications so that people would, they could buy it when there hadn't been a need for it before. And now we're in this place where we are completely dependent on it. We're in that state right now where, plastics industry is spending a lot of energy trying to defend, saying plastic's not toxic. I mean, that's where we were with the climate and with tobacco industry, 30, 40 years ago. I think one of the biggest things that I'm working on is a global treaty. So in policy at the highest possible level you can have, where all member states hopefully at some point in the not too distant future agree to manage plastic in a certain way. When I approach a company and tell them that's the goal, we got to get to a system like that, they all generally actually agree. But they're not going to change until everyone else is changing. So they're happy to support the vision, but if you want them to implement it, they need to be mandated to it, and they need to make sure that all of their competitors are mandated the same way. So it does help that people start to kind of become more conscious of the risk. And I think the health issues doing that right now. More and more people are asking a lot of questions about, is this safe for me and my children? Which is a good question to ask.